Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Welcome again to the Benjamin Zulu Show. I don't want to say that today's topic is laughable, but it is serious. Okay? There is a show that we did, and Benjamin told all of us to marry somebody who has accomplished something. I do believe that you can remember that. And accomplishment, he actually elaborated. Okay? He elaborated what he meant by accomplishment. Now, can you imagine a lady dating a guy who is working, but his house is empty? Can you figure that out? Imagine that is our discussion today. Hey, Benjamin.
Hello, and we had such a kind of discussion on my wall.
Yeah.
And people are saying, people we all evolved at different phases. Mm-hmm. We all started somewhere. We all had to move into an empty house.
Yes.
And have a mattress on the floor.
Hey.
And a stove at the corner. Life starts, many people, we hope our children will never have to start that low. We really hope. But they will still have their own starting point.
Yeah.
But for many of us, the starting point was literally on the floor. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's okay when you only have one trouser, mm-hmm. a shoe, or it's okay. Those are passages of life. But what we are talking about today is, at what point would you know that a person is ready to marry? Mm-hmm. If their mattress is still on the floor, they are not ready. Let me repeat this.
Okay.
It's okay to have your mattress on the floor and nothing in the house. You talk, you hear echoes. Your house is seriously empty. When you can't hear each other because, I'm saying, you can't hear each other because of echo. And they can't talk on phone, you hear the echoes.
Yeah.
That is a phase of life, but that's not where you get married at. Mm-hmm. That person is still on journey. Let them continue journeying. Are we together?
Yes.
We are not saying that's wrong. We are just saying that's not the ready person. They're not ready for marriage. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
So why is it important then? Let's mention about what kind of accomplishment should the person have achieved for you to know it's safe to marry them. Mm-hmm. One of them is self-actualization. We are not talking about achieving high career. We are talking about individuation. Yeah. Actualization has many levels. And the first one is simply to separate yourself from dependencies. Mm-hmm. Dependency from your family financially, dependency from those who are teaching you, those who are giving you ideas and guidance. You need a person who has the first level of it's called individuation, of self-actualization called individuation, of being their own. Okay? Yeah. You need a person who are not consulting for every decision. You need a person who they can think about their life and make decisions, mm-hmm. including who to marry, including when to marry, including how to marry. You need a person who is not every point telling you, let me ask my dad, let me ask my mom. It will depend on, I have to check, I have to confirm, get approval, No. You need a person who has journeyed enough to be an individual. To be an individual, not a dependent of some point. Mm-hmm. This does not say being given support is bad. If the support is being given when you are still an individuated person and is not what you're depending on, you're able to move on your own, you're ready now. Yeah. So, if a person is still, the house has nothing, it tells you, one, you can't tell whether after you marry, they will buy furniture. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah. You want a person who you can see responsibility. I'm listing the reasons why. The house is symbolic. Furnishing house is symbolic because some people have furnished the house and they are not ready. They're not good people. Now, as I told you, sometimes educating people, you meet so many fools. We are using the house here. They start countering, say, no, but others have everything. But they are still bad people. Mm-hmm. We are using the house, what it signifies. Yeah. But it's not the only thing you check. Mm-hmm. Are we together? Yeah. You still check other things. All right? Mm-hmm. The doctor does not just ask one question. What do you feel? Headache. Okay, now if it is headache, it must be malaria. No, they ask headache plus other things. Temperature, eating. When you learn people, you check the whole person. Mm-hmm. So we are using our house as one key element to know what you're dealing with. So number one, the furnishing of house shows sensitivity for self-development. Underline that. What kind of furnishing of the house? We don't expect luxury. We expect according to how you are earning. Let's emphasize that. People should have creature comforts or facilities or personal assets or personal facilities according to how much they are earning. It should always be commensurate. Because if it's overdone, a person is earning 25,000, $250, but they have a TV that is 70 inch. It's like they took a loan to buy it. That's not a balanced person. Your brothers from the lake, football, so that the TV is almost filling the house. Yes. Those are good shenanigans, but that's not the kind of person who's ready to marry.
Yeah.
There's a time for every season for every matter under the sun. There's a time for boys to be wild. So I told you the church type, God's preaching, fire spitting, crusades. I was in that group. We did a lot. We were hardly at home. Every weekend we were somewhere. Out of town, someplace. And it was that the season. I could not marry during that season. If also they are living in a group.
That's another category.
Forget the ones whose house are empty. This one has no house. There are 4 of them. We have lived like that ourselves. We took a 2-bedroom. You 2 guys share that one. You 2 share this. The sitting is the common study room, is everything now. So we were living as a group. And it was working for that season. Were we ready to marry? No. So if he has no house, he is far away. Far. He has a long way to go. Respect seasons.
Yeah.
When we got ready to marry, we split up quickly. When he knew the seasons are coming, I was the order among them. And I knew my aim was to start searching. So what I'll do, I need to live alone. And I stretch where I am, get a small house for myself. What kind of furniture are we talking about? We're talking about according to how you are living, but also the furniture that has decency. Okay?
Yeah.
I was not salaried myself. I was earning from these talks, counseling here and there. Many people is not salaried, it could be business. But you need to see his thinking commensurate. So it's okay to have one seat, a sofa set here, or bed. An adult who is trying to marry should not be sleeping on the floor. You need some level of dignity. Are we together?
Yeah.
If the person can't buy a bed, do you expect them to equip your house?
No.
I don't know why people assume such obvious things. And women come here with a rescuer mindset, thinking you will prove how supportive you are by furnishing his house from 0 to full. Now you think you'll be loved a lot. If you give people too much too soon, they fall in love with your hand, not your heart. So giving. You get used to the goodies, not your heart. Never give a person who does not him to give themselves. Let them see. You need to see an effort. So what I did, I had a bed, mattress, a seat where I usually sit. You have your laptop there, and it's not a furnishing until the wall. It's not detailed. I mean, no, it's not a state of the art. If you are capable of it, do it. There are people, as I told you, who their career entry point and their energy and how high. I told you of a lawyer friend of mine whose first job was 6 million. No, I don't want to tell you I've never worked like that. But the first year, second year, third year, I couldn't talk about millions. This girl is saying after an internship, that's how she opened her own office and fully furnished it. What kind of a house do you expect? You understand now? Yeah. She'll get a moderately small house, maybe 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom, and furnish it to the T. Yeah. She can simply spare $1 million, do that. So if you can do it, do it. But you don't expect a person who is sleeping on the floor literally to come and say, I want to marry you. If you can't buy yourself a bed, can you pay my salon? No. Generally, those things cost the same. Are we together?
Yeah.
The starter bed for bachelors and the salon for most women is the same price. Now, I don't want you to postpone your idea of getting married, but please, we are not doing what you undertake is not a very cheap. Huh? My brother. The normal bed will cost maybe $20 to $30. $2,000, $3,000. You know you're not buying a brand. It does not have to be a brand new big one. Yeah. Where students, where those places we live, many things are second-hand and they're okay. They're decently okay. You can use them. You can get a bed for $3,000. A woman is using $3,000 in the salon. Generally. So, surely if you... these things cost the same. And this one has already defeated you. Their shoes, their clothes, man. So, this is a risk. If you do not see a sense of responsibility in personal development, it means the same way they neglected the basics of life. Even the higher things, they will not do them. You marry him and he resists buying a car. I know people who are breaking up because she bought a car.
Yeah.
Hey, my friend. This is where it started. You did not investigate to see an instinct for development. Another area is clothes. If you see a guy who is recycling same clothes and he's working. I know a guy who was wearing white shirt only, but you can see there are different ones. White shirts. I don't know that he has changed. You used to go to campus with him. But they were so ironed, done so well, and always to the point. When you go to his house, he was also ironing. Always ironing. Arranging his clothes. Always white. The rest of us did not have any single white. You know the job. Don't need to broadcast our weaknesses, but we don't really like the maintenance levels of white clothes. Too demanding. But you need a person who has a basic level of decency. How together? Remember I told you when you're too polished, women might suspect there's another woman polishing you.
Yeah.
If your personality is like that guy friend of mine, colleague who was doing, you can see his personality overall. That's how it is. Okay? But we don't expect, even if your personality is not that neat and to the T, that you are careless and looking unkempt. Attend to your beard, boy. Attend to your looks. These things men need to learn. Many times it's your woman who will help you put the, the finer points in place. Purely. But you do not ignore and look careless. How together? Yeah. So, if you notice that he has no bed or no seat at all, you come there and you're trying to be given mutungi, that water container to sit on. Why is he jumping to marriage when he can't do basic things on his house? My house was not the best because I was looking for a house within my budget. Okay? Yeah. If you're looking for a house that is $65, for example, $70, for example, just 7,000 or 5,000 or someplace, and you will get it somewhere behind the back. You can when people take you where they live, from the time you alight the matatu, you go taking landmarks to know how to come back. Then after you arrive, where then you go now? You went to the back of, and then, so whether you are living those kind of place, but as somebody can see, you may find that the neighborhood has cockroaches. Hey, yes. Cockroaches migrate from one house to another, looking for food. You may not always look for perfection in these months, but can you see effort? Can you see a sensitivity for personal development? Okay? And we said if they're living in a community, he is far away from individuating. Brahman should have friends. He should have friends, but he should not be sleeping in the same house with his friends. Yeah. Should have privacy to call you. Privacy to talk to you. Sometimes when people do video call, you can see what kind of life they live. Yeah. All right? So the first thing is you needed sensitivity for personal development, that he is assigning some of his money in improving his life. That's what you needed to see. It does not need to be excessive, but should not be totally empty. And if he cannot afford anything, he is far from being ready for marriage. So anybody who comes here commenting, people start, I will block you because you're not bringing your common sense. We are saying that's a stage of life, but that's not the stage you are ready for marriage. Yeah. Are we together? Because marriage is another responsibility. If you are being defeated by this one, you should not undertake the other one. Yeah. Take your growth. Take your time. All right? You can live the campus life of cooking food, all of you, eating communally. But that is the stage you are in. Don't try to marry. Okay? There's another lifestyle I want you to be careful with. The people who they have a house, but they're hardly home. They live a scattered lifestyle. That's why the house has nothing. Yeah. Let me emphasize this. The house is empty because he doesn't live there. He is migrating from friend to friend to the other, spending there, going here, going here, going here. You see, Brahma, if you spend the whole day in your house, you will see what is needed.
That is true.
automatically, where you stay, you will feel the need.
Yes.
The discomfort of not having a seat. The discomfort of this seat has been transferred through 5 users. And the pillows are finished.
Yes.
The cushions are finished. You can imagine I need a small TV here. You can imagine, did I have a TV myself? I had it, but it was not connected. I was too lazy to connect it. To this day, I forget about TV. There's some people, it's not the screen that, the phone screen is enough.
Yeah.
Because I think part of my lifestyle was when I'm alone, I'm playing audio things. I'm watching documentaries. I'm doing things on my phone. So the TV is there, but the area needed to, I forgot. So it's not always the electronics. The lifestyle you're living, is it decent? Do you stay in this house? Always remember this. There's another element that women forget. I'm coming to that part. Many times when he has no house, it's because he does not settle in his house. If he settles there, it tells you he himself will have the sensitivity to bring creature comforts. Also, when he marries, he will come home. Some people don't come home because they have never lived home. It's not in them. From work to club or to church, they go, never go. If the house is empty, he never lives there. Some people avoid cooking because they don't want to wash. They don't want to clean the utensils. That is not a problem. If he can feed himself through buying and bringing home, it's okay. Many of us had already befriended the sellers of food around. We were very loyal customers. They know you always pick. They even spare. Some mothers are very motherly. They can see this just a son who is starting life. And they always, and when they don't see you, they wonder, are you okay? Did not see you yesterday. Even care for your well-being. And you won't sleep hungry, even if you don't have money that day. They'll give you the food. You know, many times we would buy half prepared, semi-prepared. The chapatis are ready, but the greens you're going to cook in the house. Halfway. To make sure you're only dealing with, you know. And many times you're arriving at home in the evening, you know, they are closing, and you're fatigued. You want the shortest route to food. So we are not looking for the luxurious, but a system that works and you can see responsibility. One reason you don't eat in hotels, many of us, is because by the time you go home or by the time you want to eat, they are done, they're closed, or they're not yet open. You are leaving very early, or you coming. So many times it's a system that works. But you see a person who has enough sensitivity to invest in a small thing. How come this person is working and they are still using a smoking stove? Paraffin stove, that small one.
Yeah.
How come you are still working and you could not buy the one for 4,500? How come this person does not have a padlock? It's something that he has to fight with to open. If he has got some people to the house, will be embarrassed on their behalf. The padlock requires shenanigans. And the door requires a few slaps. And it needs to be lifted to get in. And when you lift, he holds it for you, you come in, he returns it, because it is technically being held to stay in place. And you can't open the window, even if the place is dark, like you came to a cave. The power is out. In those places, power is out during the day. Water is out. Comes on Tuesday for 2 hours. Buy water from I don't know where. To get in, you're skipping over. Brother, install some decency in your life before you try to marry.
Yeah.
I tried to look for the most decent house I could get. It's better be a bed sitter, but the one that I can organize well. I managed to get a bed sitter that was 1 bedroom bed sitter in between the 2 houses. Some houses are not quite defined. You've told, which house is it? Just come and see. They don't describe what it is. You go and look. This is the price. Because it was not structured exactly like but it is self-contained, it has 2 rooms, but not big enough to be, it does not have separate kitchen. The cooking areas, you know. But for that price, this is okay. I can live my life. No? As I told you, sometimes it's like a cage you're retreating to. But if you live there, you get the sensitivity to keep it. So, one of the problems you have with the many men and how you sense whether you can depend on him is, does he spend on his own life? So that you can know whether you will value spending on his, when you get married. Because many times people come ask you, I keep pestering for us to do this. I keep pestering for us to buy this, to buy the other. Because he was never like that. And you did not see it. You ignored it. Brahma, there are places you live when you're trying to study that you just wanted a place to sleep.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to become a man now, some level of decency, some level of, being organized, some level, if somebody is still staying with their sister. Now, we talked about friends. Now, a relative, they're being housed. They can be housing a younger one, or sometimes it's them being housed. When you're housing a younger one, we understand you are the one doing parenting, sort of. Yeah. And as you said, some of these situations fall upon us. It's okay. I expect if you have a younger brother who, needed to study college, and I said, while he's preparing and I'm alone here, let him stay here. That is very understandable. And in fact, it shows responsibility. You're the one housing somebody. You are feeding somebody. Because when you stay with them, you feed them, take care of them. But if you are the one who is being housed, fed, facilitated, why are you trying to marry? Why are you trying to marry? You are dependent yourself. Yeah. You are dependent. You can't get another dependent. You're supposed to stand on your own so that you can see, you can even feel yourself. You can, the way you lift something heavy, and before you lift it, you first check it.
Yes.
We can see you checking the weight of life to see whether you can lift another. The other reason about how the house looks like and what it tells you, there are people you find female clothes there, they tell you, oh, this is my sister, this is my cousin. Can you tell women to stop buying 100 years old lies? If you're going to believe a lie, make sure it's a new one.
Yeah.
That time, I found some women clothing and decided it's their sisters, brothers, those things never. Hey. If it was the sister, I would call her right there. Isn't it? Brother, if your sister ever left,
yeah.
And somebody tells you, I can see a Kikoi here, I can see, okay, Alice was here. Alice says this, is it yours? Right there. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, when I was there. And then you a little bit put her in her place because she's a sister. When you visit places, stop removing your clothes. When people give you those vague excuses, or people say he found condoms and said it is his friends. Friends who are using his house. Yeah. What kind of friends are you having? It means that's your lifestyle as well.
Yes.
I told you that. There's a lifestyle that area why people's houses are empty. Because they are into an habit that is very retrogressive, backward, like chewing mirror. The funny thing with chewing cat, all drugs are bad, but some drugs are more bad than others. Are we together? You might remember the tobacco that was powder, and people put it beneath.
Yeah.
Who do you associate it with? Do you associate it with the learned?
No.
With the polished people?
No.
You associate it with the grannies, the street.
Yes.
The Lola is a cheap kind of a drug. Mira has that effect. Cat has that effect of the community, that the lifestyle that uses it, they forget, they lose their attraction about life. It has that effect of making a man docile. It kills testosterone. Have you heard women telling you when they pass by a group of men who are chewing mirror, they don't get noticed? When they pass through other groups, motorbike guys, any group, they get noticed. They're getting this, sounds or attention. But several women told me, can you imagine when you pass through a group chewing mirror, they don't notice you. They don't. If one of them notices you, he is new in the park. It has not yet taken effect. A person could have a house that is neglected because they're consuming a drug that has made them lose track of life. One thing with the cat, it takes a lot of time to chew. They sit together for hours. That's one problem with it. The guys who sniff marijuana, it can be a few minutes and they're gone. Okay, the effect will take, but one thing I noticed, I've had guys who chew mirror, cat, they arrive home and they stay in their car for hours chewing. It's very time consuming. Usually it's not expensive, it's not about the money. I told you the most expensive drug is alcohol. Yeah. In terms of money, alcohol, in fact, drowns. Somebody said they were saving money for traveling, but the money traveled fast. With alcohol, by the time you drink, you finish the bottle, the money has also been finished. It goes. Alcohol is extremely expensive. The other way, it is fluid. That's how it takes away money. Yeah. With the cat, there's a premium quality, the one they export to Somalia, to wherever. Even the countries we're exporting it is suggestive. Are we together? Yeah. Okay. I can tell you, when you go to Isili, where it's consumed in big numbers, What do you see? They dress very badly. The guys who use that drug, the first thing they forget is the aesthetics of life. When you find a person whose house was neglected, suspect the first thing. I've listed for you. They have no sense of personal development. They will never buy furniture. You will never see where the money goes even if you marry them. They are not responsible to move to the next step. They don't have an urge. Second thing, they don't live here. They're always on the move. They're very unsettled. They only come to hide, to sleep, and sometimes they sleep there once a week or twice a week. That's why they don't know. They don't feel the emptiness in the house. For that reason, they're using a drug that is retarding them mentally, pulling them back. They have lost sensitivity about where they are in life, especially cut. Alcohol, you can see quickly when a person is using alcohol. You can see what it is doing to their life. But cut is kind of hidden. Many people tend to underrate it, what it affects. Look at all people who are chewing. They don't remember what they're wearing, how they look, the energy for life, the oomph, the drive, the urge, the spark for life, the energy goes. The same way for their house. They live a very basic. That's the time I was staying with a guy who they would chew that thing and they would sit for many hours to midnight, chewing stories, and usually accompany some alcohol, there are a few things they bring there. And they're just talking and to reduce his zeal for life. The person begins to look docile and they begin. So you may find a person's life is empty because there's a money, they're in a very expensive habit. The last reason for you bring a question why you might find a person's house is empty. There are many people who grew up and it's their mothers who was furnishing the house. He has an idea in his mind that it is a woman who should buy things. Imagine those such men exist. They are waiting for the man. He has money, but they're waiting for the woman to come and furnish their house. They saw the mother buy seats. They saw the mother buy furniture. They saw the mother buy electronics. They saw the mother, and the father was seemed comfortable as if that's normal. That is his notion of who should equip the house. And he is not giving the money for her to equip. He believes that, gangster. They talk about gangster not taking shower. Gangster not doing the gangster. No. Be very careful. You could be marrying a person whose notion of being a man is very backward. And he has a long way to go. All right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like that, Benjamin, because the last point that you've said, that is where I see where most men are stuck. You see, this person is working, but they don't invest in the basics, as you put it. You see? Now, what if this guy is working, well salaried, but you look at his house is not commensurate with the level of income he's getting? Should that also say something?
If a man is earning, let's say 100,000 or something, we said start weighing by how much money he's left with. Net income or after expenditure. He could be supporting a lot of people at home. Could be doing a lot of things. Can you see responsibility in other aspects apart from the house? All right? You should see congruence in his life and his spending. For example, if he's living in a very tiny house for his kind of income, very tiny income. I mean a very tiny house for the kind of earning he's doing.
Yes.
Bring up the conversation with him. Bring up the conversation. Remember, this could be a minimalist or a miser who thinks having a good house is a waste.
Yeah.
And he will stop you from advancing. Should you merge lives together, he will refuse you. You will think that's wasteful. So here is reasoning. He could say, no, I wanted to buy my own home. I wanted to actually build. So you should hear some reasoning, some rationale. As you talk Brahma, what are you trying to talk when you talk to a person you're trying to date? What is the conversation about? To know what kind of person they are.
Yeah.
Are we together? So for me, it's not just the size of houses. What kind of financial mathematics are you working with? Ask women to always find out that. A person who is focused, again, if they're studying, they're paying their own fees or they're advancing their studies or something, you can see where the money is going. Don't marry a person whose money is going to some wasteful thing because you don't know whether they will ever stop. Yes.
Because some people actually are bottomless pits.
Yes.
You see? They get money, but you cannot account for it.
Exactly.
Now, Benjamin, let us talk about the level of exposure in some of these men. some of these men, the kind of life they're living is a replica of what they've been living
You're right.
all through.
You're right.
Yeah.
There are many who are not exposed. And even when you're not exposed, I want to see you doing the best with what you know. We will take ourselves around and learn. The one thing my girl opened my life, I never used to value traveling. Look like work, going nowhere.
Yes.
It was not in me. But she loves traveling, moving around. It gave me so many ideas. Now I love traveling myself. I'm always one planning where we can go. Even if it's just drive around. The best thing about moving around is exposure, to see new ideas, new concepts, get challenged. Get, you see new suggestions, new trends, new waves, new moves. Some involve moving physically. Others is even exploring online, checking new concepts. My mind got opened that way. Maybe he has lived a sheltered, very close life, and he was like me. He was never a fan of traveling. You can see his dressing and his lifestyle is quite backward, but you can see a sensitivity to do better. When you show him ideas, he buys them. When you show him a good idea, he embraces it. Make sure always the person you are merging your life with is ready to improve. Yes.
And we have men actually who are just talkers, especially smooth talkers. You see, they have the idea, they have the exposure, but they don't have the energy again to implement. They don't have the energy to invest in the basics. But out there, they are talking big.
Be careful with people whose words and lifestyle don't match. If you keep talking about big goals and you have not implemented any, that's a lie. From where you are, you keep saying you want to be global, you want to be this, but what have you done in the small aspect you are in now? Remember we said the achievements we are discussing here were contextualized. You've actually completed a certain degree, or you've gotten a job, or your college or business or built. You've helped a certain person conclusively until their life changed. You need to see those accomplishments, and they can be small. You've built a particular tree, but you can see from that context, it was quite an effort. Yeah. It was quite a dedication. It's not always the scale, it's what you had to work with. When you look at how they interview for big jobs, you notice them focusing on small aspects. Yeah. Because they're looking at the element of dedication, self-management, responsibility, faithfulness, accountability. And they're trying to measure them from the small things you've been doing in your life. Although they're giving you a very big job, many of the jobs we interview are always bigger than what you are working. So they can't use another bigger because you have never done a bigger thing. But they know they can see capability from what you have been doing. As you interview, use the same criteria. What have they done with the little they were getting? And I told you many times, you may marry a girl who's earning net pay of $10,000, $100 net. She's paid 25, but the bus fare, the rent, her income net, what is remaining in her hands, is 10. Yeah. How she manages 10 is how she will manage 10 million. Imagine. It's the same mindset. When you learn the keyboard, you don't learn the whole keyboard. Just learn a set of 7-8 keys. That's the same principle with all the other keys. You want to see a person who is faithfully with tithing, or how they handle their small money is how they handle the big ones. You need to see contentment. Contentment is simply patience and being satisfied while you're waiting for better things. Does not mean you're not stretching for growth, but you're happy with where you are. As you aim and dream for bigger, you're happy being here. Sometimes if you're not contented, you can never enjoy your house, your shoe, your clothes, because you're fantasizing the next one. You keep saying, oh, the next car, the next house. No. While we are imagining bigger ones, we are thankful for this ones. We enjoy this, we decorate it. We may be aiming for better studios, but can we enjoy while we're here? We may be aiming for bigger facilities, bigger cameras, bigger screens, bigger this, bigger the other. But we can't postpone. We must do the best and enjoy this, because even when you get to that one, a better one will come to view. Yeah. There will always be next. You must always, you see a person who they're doing the best, they're happy where they are, and they want to move next. Yes. Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, ladies. Remember, you have the powers to dictate how you live your life and how it ends. At the end of the day, always remember that what you say yes to determines the kind of life you live. Thank you so much for watching the Benjamin Zulu Show. Till next time.